All right, Ohio State and Rutgers, Big Ten action. Ohio State 15-point road favorites, 56.5 the total in this game. Rutgers is another one of those teams, folks. Covered every point spread this year. What am I doing with teams that have covered every point spread this year? I ain't betting against them. So I think you know what side I'm looking at in this game. I'm looking at Rutgers. Like we're talking about going to Piscataway. That's going to be a frenzied atmosphere, believe it or not. They're into Rutgers football again on that campus. I've seen a couple of the home games that they've had this year, and especially the Temple one early in the year. That was a great, great atmosphere. Crowd was into it. They were loud. Greg Schiano has pumped life and excitement and enthusiasm again into Rutgers. I like that performance last week against Michigan. They outgained Michigan by 77 yards. They were minus 0.3 yards per play against Michigan in that game. And their defense shut down, not just stopped, shut down Cade McNamara, that great ground game with Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins. They didn't do anything in the second half of that game against Rutgers. And it allowed Rutgers to, after it was a tough first half, Schiano made good adjustments. The defense was better. The Noah Vidral on the offense got some things going. Pacheco as well on the ground for Rutgers. So, they were a much better team in the second half of that game. And I think that's all Rutgers does. It's not pretty, but all they do is they just hang around and dig in and just stay close. And that's what they did. And that's what I was banking on, taking Rutgers plus the points last week against Michigan. That they're good enough to not get blown out, to hang around, compete with a good enough defense. Yeah. And that's exactly what we saw. In fact, they outgained Michigan. I thought they played toe-to-toe, especially second half. You could say they outplayed Michigan in the second half. On the road in the Big House for a team that was just looking like world beaters, crushing Western Michigan, crushing Northern Illinois, beating up Washington. I mean, they were looking as impressive as anybody, Michigan, the first few weeks. And like I said, but now Jim Harbaugh's in Big Ten play. He doesn't cover numbers, in Big Ten play consistently. And Rutgers, they were, I think, 7-0 ATS as a road underdog or an underdog overall going into last week. They're a home dog this time, but I'm on him again. We don't know if CJ Stroud is going to play, as to Josh's point in the chat, which means we could be seeing, Jack Miller and the other backup quarterback again for Ohio State in this game. On the road, laying more than 2 touchdowns against what we've seen is clearly a capable defense, a guy that can coach defense as well, Schiano. And Ohio State's defense, it's not like it's been any good. What, you're going to put stock in, wow, finally Ohio State's defense played well last week because they beat Akron? No, not me. Let's see what you can do on the road here against Rutgers in this spot. And again, with Stroud's status for this game, CJ Stroud's status for this game up in the air, it means we could be seeing, the duo of Kyle McCord and Jack Miller again at quarterback. And look, facing Akron at home is one thing if Stroud doesn't play. Going on the road, good environment. They're excited again about the football program at Rutgers. That's going to be a challenge. Give me this home underdog. Rutgers covered every number this year. Let's ride that train while it's still on the tracks. What do you think, Conor Mack, Ohio State, Rutgers?
I'm with you. They just cover. They cover as a favorite. They definitely cover as a dog. They covered last year for me in these big games. Ohio State's just not right yet. Like the injuries with Stroud, their defense, they're just maybe at the end of the year they'll be humming, and be playing well, but not right now. We talked about people, we're kind of, Michigan's just going to run all over them last week. We were like, this first game, but, we had to go through all our shit. You go through, and the game was tight. I had the under too. It went under. They'll be pumped for this one too. Rutgers at home. You got to take them here, plus the 15.5. I'm on it.
Yep. Just ride this Rutgers train. I mean, what can you say? 4-0 against the spread this year. The only loss by 7 points last week against Michigan on the road. And now you're getting over 2 touchdowns with them here in this game going into it. And again, the long-term ATS trends back it up as well in terms of how these teams have done. Especially Rutgers in terms of the underdog. I've got to hopefully find it here. I know I have it somewhere. There we go. 5-2 against the spread. The last 7 as an underdog. So there you go. I mean, this team getting points definitely always worth a look, especially the last couple of years. Schiano, just incredible. Remember, this program was just a disaster when he took it over, and what he's done in a year and a bit, unreal. Great job.